What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Financial Freedom Builders, where every conversation moves you one decision closer to financial freedom. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe to the page. The comments below are going to be two different links. The first link gets you access into what we are calling the 10x challenge. Imagine the opportunity to take your initial investment and basically add another zero to it. If you put $10, it turns to $100. Put $100, turns to $1,000, to $10,000, etc. We are doing a challenge to 10x your original investment in 6 months, and it's going live next week, Wednesday, July 1st. Top comment below gets you in. Just do it. There are so many people jumping in, flooding in with the opportunity to be able to make a life-changing money. Second comment below, of course, is Freedom Builders Academy. That is the starting point of your journey. And if you skip the steps, then you make the path and the journey a lot longer than it needs to be. So get that on there below. But let's get right into it. I know it's been a little bit since I've been on. I've been traveling. I was around the world for a little bit. I hit Europe. I was in Spain. I was in France. I was in Portugal. I then went to the New York Knicks. Shout out to the New York Knicks, by the way. I went to game 2 of the NBA Finals. I was viral on the internet. You can find that somewhere about me sweeping the lobby in San Antonio after the Knicks won. And of course, shout out to them for winning the championship. And just a childhood team that I was able to see that and live out my dreams. But this is what financial freedom can do for you. And this is why this page was created. So we're going to talk about where we are in the market. Obviously, we saw the market hit an all-time high a couple of weeks ago at $758 on the SPY. And since then, we've seen what has been essentially a pullback. A very healthy pullback, may I add, and under control. So it's not as if we're seeing the elevator and things are breaking and it's all out of whack. It's been what's called a controlled pullback to different levels on moving averages. And so as this is pulling back, of course, a lot of your favorite stocks have started to plummet backwards. One of the stocks in particular that I do want to mention as a side note is Microsoft. This is a company that essentially everywhere, all of our devices, computers and laptops and all this, all more likely than not have some level of Microsoft in it. That company is not going anywhere. So this pullback is providing you an opportunity to get a long-standing blue chip company on sale as a generational discount. So although it's not financial advice in this video, it's for education and entertainment purposes only, I would tell you that if you had the ability to get Microsoft at closer to $300 a share, you may be looking at this in 5 years and seeing that $300 share stock at $900 or $1,000 or even higher. So take advantage of the discounts and the opportunities the market is giving you. There are other stocks that are not necessarily pulling back right now. One recently that came up is Micron. Micron reported earnings on Wednesday, and they jumped up nearly 15% off of strong earnings and forward guidance. The AI story is very much still alive and going nowhere. So anything you can do to get invested into AI companies is probably the right move for your long-term investment portfolio. But I want to talk specifically about the S&P 500. I want to keep this video relatively short, just give you the blueprint and then what you need to worry about going into it next week. So as this market continues to pull back, we're seeing now that the moving averages now are bumping up close to the candles that are pulling back. So imagine we're about to run into some sort of intersection between a lot of the moving averages recent and the candles that are coming down. And what normally happens if the market is still bullish is that when it hits up against the moving average, it represents the floor in the room. In our videos, we've talked about floors in the rooms and how normally the bouncing ball, when it hits the floor, gravity sends it back upward the other way. And so if the SPY can hold $728 and not allow the stock to continue to pull back further beyond that, that will represent a floor in the room. And if we see that, we can see the SPY turn around and revisit all-time highs near $760 and beyond. So the question becomes, if it holds just off of technical analysis, what is the reason that the market would keep going higher? Number one, we are seeing earnings through all of these companies showing strength in their outlook for the future. Money is coming in, these companies are still showing profits that's good for the shareholders. The war in Iran, although it's still going on, the market has already priced it out of our situation and is now forward thinking, saying that, hey, this is going to get resolved somehow, some way. We're moving on to the next thing. So with that out of the way, the only things that are in front of us are inflation, which is going to be a very hot topic, no pun intended, throughout the summer, because leading into the next Fed meeting, there are already talks of potential rate hikes. But right now, the market is front loading a couple of rate hikes. So if we see inflation start to cool down, we're going to see the release of the tension of inflation, and that will send the market higher, which will lead us ultimately to the next NVIDIA earnings, which is in August. So what I foresee is that we're going to get the bounce here at 728 or so, and then we're going to climb to all-time highs and break through all-time highs leading into August NVIDIA earnings, which would ultimately be close enough to the time of the next Fed meeting. And at that point, we would be 2 months away from the midterm elections, and there we would have to take a quick station break to see how the market is doing, how it's going to react, and if volatility is going to kick in. At that point, we can talk about a different game plan. But in the meantime, if the companies you like are strong fundamental companies that are providing you a discount, you go and you buy. So one stock in particular I'll put on your radar that we are still very bullish on is none other than Novo Nordisk, ticker symbol NVO. This stock continues to show relative strength. There are still gaps above that they need to fill in the 50s, in the 60s, and even in the 80s. So it's just a few catalysts away from seeing that rise up, and you can double your money literally from here and definitely triple your money over the next 12 to 18 months. On your way out, be sure to hit the like button on this video. Share this video with somebody you know. Top comment below will get you into that 10x challenge. Come find out what we can do with your money if you give us a chance and give us 6 months to level up on your journey. And we'll see you in there. We'll have a great time, and we'll talk to you on the next one.